Listen to this.
Now I want to tell you about a process that is not so well known as the different kind of voices, which is the tone of your voice. The tone of your voice is the resonancy. It's how and where you make your notes resound. Resound, is it the word in English? I don't know. The resonancy, the tone of your notes depend on the way you give to your notes after they're made by your vocal strings. And on the same way, I like to develop your range, your direct voice and your head voice and your falsetto voice. I like to develop the tone of your voice. In the same way, you have your lowest notes in your range and your highest notes. Then you have what I call the heaviest tone in your voice and the lightest. What is the difference between the tone and the range of a note? The range is the number of vibrations the vocal strings will do to produce a note. For example, the A, the classic A you can hear on the telephone, for example, is 440 beats per second. So the range of your notes depends on your vocal strings, and the tone of your notes depends on the resonancy, on where you make your note resound in your head. Generally, it can be said that the sounds that you produce resound in all your body. If you pay attention, you can feel the sound resound in your feet, in your hands. But what matters for us now is how you can make the sound resound in your head. In your head, you have like an effect box that can change the quality, the color, the warmness of the sound. It's very important because if you don't use this technique, you will be unable to reach your highest notes, both in direct voice or head voice. Example. Well, the easiest tone to use is the highest. Lots of singers use it, particularly in France, like Mylène Farmer or Jane Birkin. And a very good example in the States is Janet Jackson. And the more difficult to use is the heaviest, because you have to force your throat to be wide open. The heaviest tone is called the throat tone. It's done with the back of your throat, like when you, oh, are you very tired like this, you know? You have very easily a very warm, very deep voice. And this is the one I want to make you work today. To reach your heaviest tone, you have to open wide your throat. It's like stretching of your throat. And it's not very easy because we're not used to do it, especially the French-speaking people. It will give you a very warm, a very round voice. Let me show you. We'll take the same song as before, which is Amazing Grace. We'll sing it with the direct voice. If I use my natural direct voice, just like when I speak, it will be like this. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound. If I try to reach my heaviest tone, it will do like this. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound. You may say, oh, this is a very strange fat lady voice, you know. But this tone will help you to reach your highest notes and to make them sound warmer and rounder. Let me show you. Let's take a high note without toning it. It will do, hey! Right, you can feel it's kind of forced and the sound is like very high, like metal, you know. If we tone it, if we put our heaviest tone on it, it will do, hey! You can see the difference and you can hear it sounds a lot more warm and round. And the difference is not only in the sound, but also in the effort you make and the risks you take with your voice. Because when you do hey like this, your throat is wide open, so nothing can happen to you vocal strings, I guarantee. And when you do it like this with your throat wide open, you can be sure you're very physically relaxed, and you know that is very important for singing. In the example, I showed you how to make the heaviest tone, the heaviest resonancy, but you can do it just a little to make your voice just warmer. Let's take the same song as before, Amazing Grace. If I sing it with my highest tone, it will do like this. Amazing Grace, how sweet the sound. This is not a head voice, this is a direct voice. With my heaviest tone, it will do like this. Amazing Grace, how sweet the sound. You see the difference. Now you don't have to do the heaviest or the lightest always. You have to modulate to get a very varied singing, a very varied voice. And then if you want to train, you can do the same as I showed you with the different kind of voices. You can, like make a duet between your heaviest tone and your highest tone. And it does like that. Amazing Grace, how sweet the sound, not save the wretch like me. Or Amazing Grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. These two kinds of tones are very different, and then you can modulate them and use them at different doses. You don't have to do each time the extreme. And it works the same for the head voice. Amazing Grace, oh sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. For sure, the easiest tone to work with is the lightest one, but I'm sure you understand with this tone you can't go too far in your range, you can't reach your highest notes, it's impossible. And with the highest tone you will very easily go to the falsetto voice instead of the head voice. So as a resume, we have three ranges of voice: the direct voice, the head voice, and the falsetto voice. The falsetto voice, you can't do too much to change the tone. It's like an extreme voice, it's like a shout. But for the direct voice and the head voice, you can change the tone, you can work on it to perfect your sound and to look for different emotions you want to express. So with my direct voice, I have the natural, I have the lightest, I have the heaviest, and for the head voice, I have the natural, the lightest, and the heaviest. You understand me? Well, this is the end of Question de Chant number 2. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope to see you soon in my classes to learn more about the Afropean techniques of the voice. Bye bye, take care, sing well.
Now listen to this.
We